Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I'm back with a scrapbooking video for you guys. It's been a little bit since I've done like a traditional scrapbooking video, but I'm playing with the newest collection from Felicity Jane. This is Hope. I do have an unboxing of the kit. I will link it down below for you guys if you want to see everything that comes in the collection and the new release. However, the kit in its entirety is sold out, but they do still have individual items from the Hope collection in the shop over at Felicity Jane, so I'll have all those links down below. Those are affiliate links, just heads up. But you can go over and shop any of the products that I'm using that's still in stock, and then you can grab those individually. So today I am creating in my A5 notebook. So this is a little bit bigger than a standard traveler's notebook. I really am falling in love with this size. It's a nice size. So this particular notebook is from Felicity Jane. And what I've been documenting in here, I've shown it a few times on my channel, is this is just a little less formal than some of my other projects that I'm doing. You know, I've got Project Life, which is kind of on hold right now because life's on hold. And my 8.5 by 11 binders with my photos of my boys and my family and things like that, where I really want, you know, pristine, perfect pages. Here is more of just a dumping space for me. It's things that I'm proud of or pretty things that I see, you know, just less formal, you know, making it onto design teams, my weight loss, you know, journey, my gym journey, weight loss journey. I've got books that I'm reading, things like that, that I'm putting in here. So, and I am skipping pages so that I can glue these together so the pages are just a little bit thicker. These pages are, you know, really, really nice. Felicity Jane notebooks are one of my favorite notebooks. I love the quality of the paper, but I like to get messy with mixed media sometimes, and so I do double up the pages just so I don't have issue with bleed through like I did back towards the beginning. I splattered some paint on here and then it bled through onto this page here. So I learned from that. But that's what I'm going to be creating in today. And what I had was this photo here. This photo was taken back in March. It was actually the last day of the boys' school before they went on spring break. And so I had a whole bunch of photos from the day out on the lake, and I hadn't documented them yet. So I went ahead and printed it off, pulled it off. And as I started thinking about the journaling that I wanted to do, I looked back at the date, and this is actually basically the last day before the world came to a halt for my family. As soon as the boys got out of school, we hunkered down in the house and shut down even before the formal, you know, stay in place was put out. But basically this was the day before the world stands still. And I wanted to document this because it was such a serene, beautiful day. I remember being out there and it's just gorgeous. The weather was nice, birds singing, flowers are starting to bloom. You know, I'm out there with the kiddos. It was just so peaceful. And for me, this whole pandemic experience has been a little bit like that. And I feel bad saying that because I know so many people have lost loved ones and are frontline workers. You know, my husband's an essential worker, so we do have a little bit of that anxiety. You know, my kids are vulnerable. I have autoimmune disorders, so I am vulnerable as well. But despite all of that, there's just been such a sense of peace, and the whole world is just quieted for my family to where we can really be in tune with God and just the ways that He is blessing my life and my family's life, and just seeing how He's showing up in big ways in the world right now with everything stopped. And so I had a lot of journaling that I wanted to do. And so, you know, I'm not afraid to leave my journaling out where people can see it, but I had a lot more journaling than I typically do. And so I wanted to create kind of a little hidden pocket. So that's what I'm going to do today and show you how I put that together. And so my photo is roughly about 3x4 size. I have a few things from the Hope collection pulled out, including a 3x4 card. I've already gone ahead and cut down some of the pattern papers. I had to use this floral because it's absolutely stunning. I've already done some fussy cutting with it, and I may need to order some more of the papers because that's super pretty. And then for this side of the layout, I really loved this journaling card that says, "A beautiful day begins with hope." And I was just going to use the card, embellish it, you know, go with it as it was, but I decided I wanted it to kind of take up the page a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is actually stamp out that phrase using this new typewriter alphabet set from Felicity Jane. If this is still in stock, I will link it down below. It's just a bigger font, so we're going to stamp with that. And then for the word hope, I went ahead and die cut out the letters using my Silhouette Cameo die cutting machine. If you don't have a die cutting machine, you definitely could do something similar using like the Reagan alphabet die. die. I was going to use this, but it was a little bit tall and narrow and was sans serif, and I wanted something just a little bit bigger and more bold, but you could get a similar effect with this die set if you don't have an electronic cutting machine. But what I used was actually this. Now, in my unboxings, I always tell you guys, do not throw this piece away. I know it's just packaging, but don't throw it away. It's perfect for this, cutting out smaller elements. Because the prints are actually a smaller scale than the 12 by 12s, it is absolutely perfect for cutting out letters, because then you can get more of the print in the letter. If I was to cut that letter out of this print, I wouldn't get as much of the floral or as much of the stripe and things like that. So all I did was cut those down, put them on my silhouette, and cut out the letters. So I have a few other die cut, embellishments and things that I'm going to use. I have the stamp set from Hope that I'm going to use that, and really just going to be pretty simple to put together. So let me go ahead and put you guys on fast forward, and we'll put this spread together. Okay, so I'm going to start with these 2 pieces of pattern paper. The floral paper is cut to about 3 inches wide by 8.5, and then the pink paper is about 3.5 by 8.5. So it's a little bit longer than I needed it to, but I can cut it down once I attach it. And then I'm just using a circle punch and halfway punching the top of these 2 pieces, and that way I have like a little indent so I can tell that there's going to be the journaling stuck in this pocket. So we're creating the pockets. I'm using some 1/4 inch adhesive, and I'm just going to adhere this to 2 sides, and then in a second here I'll do the bottom. I want to make sure that I have it in just the right place. I did have to take my journaling over and trim it down just a little bit more, and in fact I probably should have done it even narrower because I had a hard time sticking it in the pocket. But if you want to see the journaling, you can head on over to the Felicity Jane blog. I do have a close-up photo that has the journaling that I typed out. I'm just doing a faux tag at the top just by cutting one corner off, and then if you just flip it over to the other corner, then you get similar corners cut. It gives you that tag at the top, and then just punching a little hole. And that way it looks like there's a little tag poking out of the top of my pocket. Super simple, and you can see that gives me that entire height of the notebook almost for my journaling. So I'm just laying that piece down with a little bit poking out of the top, and then I can put the adhesive down. That way I make sure that my ticket doesn't stick too far down, or my tag doesn't go too far down into my pocket, if that makes sense. I don't know. Words are hard sometimes, guys. I'm using a T-ruler just to make sure that it's straight. Everything on this layout is very simple and very linear, so I want to make sure that it is very straight when I stick it in. So I'm pulling out a little bit of thread to put into the top of the tag here, just for some texture and to make it, so you have something to grab a hold of when you pull that tag out. And I stuck the pattern papers down like flush with my notebook. I should have given myself a little bit more wiggle room because I had to kind of fuss with it to get that tag in. So learn from my mistake, make your tag a little bit more narrow, and it will slide in and out a little bit easier. Now I'm just going to mat my photo. I do link the printer that I use and the papers that I use, everything down in the description box. I always get questions about that. I always link that if I've printed something. So I'm just doing a little bit of a border around that photo, and then I'm going to pop that journaling card behind it. I wanted just a little hint of yellow over on this left-hand side because I will have a little bit of yellow on the right-hand side. That journaling card was the perfect way to bring that in. I'm trying to limit layers. Like typically I'd go in and like throw in some tissue paper and multiple layers behind my photo, but working in a notebook like this, I try to be really conscious about how fluffy I make things so that I don't outgrow my notebook before I'm done with it, if that makes sense. So I just try to limit how many layers I stick behind things. So then I have this little mini label from the Hope die cuts. It's super stubby and cute, and it's the perfect size for this stamp. And it says, "Look for the good," which I thought went perfect with what I journaled about and kind of how we are living life right now in the shutdown at home through a pandemic. I'm just trying to focus on the good. So moving on to the right-hand side, this is going to be my big stamped out phrase here. And I'm really nervous. I don't want to mess this up on camera, so I'm trying to measure everything out. I've pulled out the letters, one letter from each line. That way I have an idea of how much space to have between them. And like I said, again, because this layout is so simple, I want to make sure that everything's spaced correctly, everything's straight. I know it's a little OCD, but that's how I work. So I'm using my T-ruler, and what I ended up doing was about 1.5 inches between each line that I'm penciling in here. I'm very lightly adding a penciled line. That way I have that as a guide when I go to stamp down my letters. Luckily, because I'm working in the right side of the notebook, there isn't anything underneath that page. It's flat, so my stamping will be just fine. I don't have to worry about a misstamp too much. And then now I'm just laying down my hope letters to get an idea of how far to the left or how far into the center of my spread that I need to start stamping. Again, I know this is a little bit OCD, a little bit much, but sometimes, sometimes I throw caution to the wind and go crazy and do mixed media and make things wonky, and I don't care. But when it's very, very simple like this, I want to make sure that things are straight and spaced even. And I honestly had a really hard time with the white space on this layout. I wanted to add like ink splatters or enamel stickers or something, but I decided to walk away, leave it simple. Sometimes simple is all you need. I am trying to load up all of the letters all at once, so I'm leaving a little space for that other U. Sorry you're getting to see my gray hairs. Coronavirus hairdo, right, guys? I know I'm not the only one. And I am stamping with Versamagic ink, and it's in Aspen Mist, and it's a little bit more blue than the color of the Hope kit, but it's close enough that it works just fine. So that's Aspen Mist if you're looking for an ink color that coordinates with the Hope collection. So now I'm just going in and very carefully erasing my lines. I made sure to hit those letters with my heat tool, that way I didn't smudge it. And then I'm sending my Hope letters through my Xyron sticker maker to turn them into stickers. You could also add adhesive to the back before you ran it through your Silhouette Cameo machine, but I didn't think about that ahead of time, so we're just doing this. So you just kind of rub the letters, peel the plastic off the front. I like to go in with a powder tool just to remove any excess adhesive that might be poking out, and then I'll just use my tweezers to stick those letters down. And like I said, you could use just a manual die cutting machine and a set of alphabet dies if you do not have a Silhouette. And I just picked a font that was in my font library and kind of measured out the space where it was going to go, and that's how I knew how big to cut the letters. It was actually pretty quick and easy. For the top there, I'm going to create this little embellishment cluster with one of the hearts and one of the tags, and I use my tiny attacher. And then I don't have the Dusty Rose paper clips yet from this collection, and those are sold out, unfortunately. But I did have this little mint colored one, which is also appears to be sold out. I just tried to find it in the shop and couldn't find it, but they have several different types of mini wide paper clips in the shop. So I just grabbed one of those to attach that little tag cluster at the top. And then now I'm taking a fine black pen to outline the word Hope. Sometimes with printed papers, it's a little bit difficult to read the letters, but I also wanted to bring a pop of that black contrast over to the right-hand side since I've got the black stamping on the left and then like my black pants and the black on the kayak. So I needed a little bit of contrast on the right-hand side. That way it goes together. And then there was this perfect little scallop piece that I did not plan this, but it was the perfect size to fit directly under my word Hope. I could not have pre-planned that. And that's going to be pretty much for the entry. So I'm just going to stick my 2 pages together, and I'm going to finish it up with the date stamp. I'm backdating it to the day of that photo, which is March 13th. Seems so long ago already, you guys. This is like the months that never end, right? So that is going to be it for the layout. If you want to see more close-up photos, definitely head on over to the Felicity Jane blog where you can see my journaling and all that goodness. Links to everything will be down below. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below for me. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.